Hey, how is everybody doing today? How's it going? It's time for some more Robotron. You know what to expect. You know what we're here for. It's just more craziness, top-down craziness. Really nothing to do except hop right in and continue doing it because I'm about you can see I'm 25% of the way through this game. It's weird. This is a weird game because it's a long game for sure. But it's a lot of the same thing, so I don't know how great of a game to beat this is. Especially because I don't know how it kind of works if I, like, say I run out of lives or something. The game up to this point seems pretty forgiving on awarding me more lives to continue going, but I don't know how that's gonna hold out for me as the difficulty continues to ramp up. Slowly but surely. Oh, I fucking shot him first. I'm pretty sure that this looks pretty familiar to everybody if you've seen the other video. It's not it's kind of it's really just going to be more of the same. This game is exactly what it says it is, which is just 200 levels of Robotron. And I think that probably said the same thing last video. It's exactly what it is. There's nothing secretive about it. There's nothing, big extra to unlock. There's no progression in the game itself, in the sense that you'll get more weapons, or you'll find a new, like, environment to go through or anything like that. It's this is what it is. They never lied to you about it. They never said that it was something different. You just gotta like Robotron to really keep going through this game, and I do like Robotron, but it's weird because there's nothing wrong with the game. It's just that you can't, like, power through 200 levels of it. That's all it is. I do think it gets kind of old, and that's why they improved upon it from the original one with Smash TV, which was still a lot of similar looking levels and everything like that. Because I don't remember if the original Robotron or even this game, I'm pretty sure you switch off. But I can't say that for sure, because it says player 1 up, so I assume that you only do one at a time. This game, honestly, a new Robotron game would have been better suited to co-op, if that's not what that means. I could be entirely wrong. I'm not gonna try and figure out if there's 2-player or 1-player or anything on this. I know there's 2-player, but it probably is not simultaneous. But it's funny because a new Smash TV or a new Total Carnage would have probably been better suited either to this or to the original, the PlayStation version. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's the N64 or anything like that. It really is just that I think a better game, a more labor intensive and more expensive game to produce, yes, but a better game would have actually been a new Total Carnage or a new Smash TV, because there's that sense of progression. Not to mention the fact that it would make for a really good co-op game, which couch co-op was huge. I mean, it would have been huge for 2 people on the PS1. It would have been huge for 2 people. It doesn't have to be 4 people on the N64. I don't see that happening with a game like this. 2 people on the N64 side by side going and taking this on, and it's especially with the N64, I think it would have filled a pretty big hole, which is sort of like a co-op shooter type of thing, something that the N64 didn't really have. Kind of, if that had happened, kind of allay that fear, that stigma of being like a kiddie system, because it's Nintendo. No, I genuinely feel that this game's biggest problem is being Robotron, because it kills your interest in continuing through all the levels, and the fact that there's nothing else to it besides a bunch of 200 levels that look like this. Gameplay wise, I have no complaints about this game. It's exactly like I said. I'll say it over and over and over again. Don't think it's going to be more than what it says it is. You cannot say that this game isn't what you expected from it. That's a blessing and a curse with this game. Um, but, you know, kind of like me playing a soccer game or anything like that, I don't manage to stick with it for as long as other people might have been able to. Even though I really like it. You know, I really like the twin stick. By the way, you know, the stick doesn't really work. It doesn't work unless it's symmetrical, I think. But because I can do symmetrical with the D-pads, I think that does work. I tried to do the stick and it blasted about a level, and I was like, no, just use the D-pads, because then you get the same feeling on both sides. That was pretty much the genius of it when it came out originally, I think, would be the twin stick sort of feel, because you get a symmetrical thing. Exactly what you need. Shoot the magic hulks. And I can't ever tell if these things that they're telling me are hints, or if they're actually supposed to be helpful, or if they're just there for flavor or effect or anything like that. I really have no idea. I don't know, somebody who's played further into this game than me, maybe past 100 levels or something like that, tell me if there's going to be any more enemies, if there's going to be more power-ups that I find as I go along, because that's kind of what I'm wondering about. I don't think there's really going to be much of a sense of progression, aside from the number. I mean, I have seen enemies that I didn't see for the first couple dozen levels or anything like that. I think that people probably, I know that people didn't really think much of this game when it came out. I think the biggest complaint is exactly what I'm saying, is that it doesn't feel like this game was necessary to get an upgrade. It really doesn't. It's not a bad thing that it did, but I think I might have said this, maybe not exactly the same way, but I think the people's problem with this game was that, you know, coming out as like a full, I don't know if it was a full retail game, but coming out as a retail title, you might expect more from it than it actually delivers. And as the defining aspect of this game is that it isn't anything more than it says. But when it came out in 98 on the 64 and 96 on the PS1, and people went and bought it, they might have probably thought, you know, depending on how much it costs, because I don't know, because I don't think this was a budget title. Some of the remake games are budget titles. I know they're like the Asteroids game for PS1 and stuff. Those are made as budget titles. There was a point of that. But those are also made a lot later on in the system's life, from what I remember, or from what I understand. So maybe the expectations would be different, and justifiably so. You'd expect a lot different from a budget title in 1998 than you do from maybe not a budget title in 1996 for your fancy new system. I'm trying to think, honestly, I'm trying to think up to this point if there had been any major arcade resurrections or anything like that really, you know, flipped the script on the original. Really? To the point that they were games that you would pay full price for, and I'm trying to think of at this time, and I'm also trying to like focus on this thing, so I'm not 100% sure, but of an example of a game that maybe would justify expecting something different from this game. Because really, like, the main thing had been, like, there hadn't even really been any compilations by the time this came out in 96 on the PlayStation. But the PlayStation would kind of sell a lot for, you know, the Namco museums and the other Atari collections, which there's like 4 or 5 of. Atari or Williams collections, there's both. I know they would sell a lot of those, and the appeal of those wasn't that they were different, it's that they obviously were a bunch of games. And I don't even think that those were full retail. I can't even say for sure. Especially on the Namco ones. I'm not sure about those. They might have been on 64. They might not have been on PlayStation. I have no idea. We're facing the same thing right now with the Switch, where especially really early on, like, Switch games cost a little bit more. And I'm paying that little bit more. Like, there's a game that just got announced the other day is going to be on, hey, it's an octagonal shape level instead of a square. That's somewhat interesting. You know, it was everybody's complaint at the time, obviously, that, you know, N64 games did cost more. And you know, they did cost more for the third-party titles. That's the major thing. I've come to realize that and have to sort of make that acknowledgement when I talk about them. Cruis'n USA, when it came out, was unjustifiably expensive compared to, you know, Super Mario or Pilot Wings or Wave Race. What the fuck? Really? So it's a... I mean, I guess this is a boss level? I don't understand. Hey, there's some new power-ups and shit. That's actually what I was looking for. Cool. You know, I can imagine that if Namco Museum wasn't actually a budget title on any system, that it would have still cost more on the N64, especially the one version of it that we got. But I can imagine people also paying that, regardless of whether they had both systems or not. We're at this point right now, still with the Nintendo Switch, because it just came out, and the cartridge production costs might continue to go down for the Switch. I mean, I could see it happening as Nintendo gets better at it, and, you know, flash memories continues to become cheaper. That's the whole reason they went back to it, is because flash cartridge production, the way that they make games for the 3DS and the Switch now, is a lot cheaper than it used to be, when it was a huge price point difference for the N64 versus the PS1. How did that make sense? How was that fair? He followed me around the whole level and didn't land, and then he decided to land right on top of my face. It's called Sign Mora EX. Shoot 'em up. It's gonna be a budget title, regardless. Sign Mora EX. Just what the fuck was that? Those mines. Sign Mora EX. Shoot 'em up. I don't remember who makes it. It's somebody I know. Somebody I'm familiar with. Oh, I think THQ Nordic might be publishing it, but I got really excited about it because it's coming out on PS4 and Switch, and it's $30 on the Switch, and it's 30 bucks on the Switch and 20 bucks on PlayStation 4 and I assume Xbox One as well. Regardless of the fact that I have a PS4, I'm gonna buy that for the Switch because I want more Switch games, and I will pay that extra $10. Just like I will be with Rhyme. I have that pre-ordered for the Switch, where it's another $10 on the Switch. What else? I didn't buy Puyo Puyo Tetris. If I did, I'd still buy it for the Switch. For the $10 more that it is. What else is coming out that's more on the Switch? Reasonably so. Because it really only affects titles that aren't $60 retail titles, because Nintendo obviously gets their titles down to $60 because they would have to. They'd be laughed out of conferences and shit if they charged more by going back to cartridges. They'd have to have $60, but NBA 2K18 and FIFA 18 are both coming out for the Switch as well, and those aren't going to be more than $60. It really only affects the type of games that I buy, and because they're already, you know, priced below full retail, I don't mind as much paying to get them on a Nintendo console. Whether it was the Wii U or the Switch, I would still pay more for them. I'm currently... They're really the only things that I care about all that much for collecting that isn't on the Switch, and games that are coming out. I look for Vita games because it's something I just got recently, and I look for Wii U games. and I wouldn't buy. I mean, I would have considered it. I wouldn't buy Assassin's Creed 3 or 4 on any other system because I played 2 and I didn't really care for it because it's a stealth-based game. I'm not good at those. But I will, at some point in my life, I will own Assassin's Creed 3 and 4 Sneasels for the Wii U, specifically because they're on the Wii U. And they're not hella expensive, stupidly expensive like some Wii U games are. It's all those, it's all those, the kids games and literally nobody watched because the movies that they were based on failed, but... I'd say I'm getting really off track here, but nothing new really comes out of this game, so... I'm actually gonna save, just because... Yeah. But let's keep going. Yeah, the only thing that's really changed about the game at this point is that the arena used to be a square shape and now it's gone to a more like an octagonal shape, which might be slightly smaller. I can't really tell. It's the camera angle, the way that it actually changes, it makes it tough for you to really tell, really gauge how big the arenas are. It probably is a little bit smaller because that makes sense if there's a difficulty increase that is supposed to follow all the levels. I will say honestly that for the most part, except for cheap shit like that, the difficulty curve has been existent and not in very what's the word I'm looking for? Not very steep at all. Like you might expect, especially very gentle. It's been a very gentle curve, if anything, which I appreciate because over the course of 200 levels, I don't want there to be any major spikes in the difficulty. Let's put it that way. This is what's gonna piss me off. Alright. They didn't land directly on top of me for once, so. Brains. Oh shit! They spawned after the first guys. That's bullshit. I don't know what that is. That white thing in the corner. I'm just gonna avoid it. Oh, fuck you. Wow, I might actually, might be at the end of my rope here. Hey, I made it. More. I'm not worried about the red and green things at all. I'm worried about these things that fucking dive bomb you from all the way across the level. God damn it. This might be the end of my run. I had a good one. I had a good run here. But this might be it. Good thing I saved relatively not that long ago. Because I don't know how continues and shit work. Did I get awarded an extra life? Is that what happened? I can't remember if I was at 1 or 0. Oh god damn. They're fucking swarming me, man. Yeah, okay, so it goes to 0. Now what else can you do 0? Let's see, am I gonna make it out of this one? I'm really scraping by on these last couple levels so far, so if this isn't the last level, it's going to be soon for me. But I think I did pretty respectably well, considering... Hey, I got one more. I live to fight another day. But it's coming up soon, so let's just see how far we can get. I mean, I still have technically over 100 levels to go in the entirety of the game, but... Hey, there's just a freebie there. 3 extra lives, didn't even have to score any points for that. Wow, that was a quick level. So at this point, it's like any other arcade game that somebody might be playing on Twitch. I'm just marathoning it and seeing how far I can get. So, I mean, this right here is pretty much the proper way. I don't really see playing 200 levels of this game as being the something you have to beat it. Because if this is kind of what happens and the difficulty, you know, goes up really, like I said, appropriately well for an arcade game with a ton of levels in it, I'm pretty okay with that. And you're just going for the longest run you can get with the most points, and it's an arcade game. It's exactly what it is. So this is probably the better way to play it anyway. I can't see myself, you know, keeping saves going and getting up to, you know, more than 100 more levels in this game. Because, like I said, it's not really about the sense of progression. It's just about how long you can go, how long you can marathon it. Because it's an arcade game. Even arcade games that are in the same, you know, the same mentality of an arcade game, they wouldn't change up the entirety of the level or the gameplay or the environments. They would only make minor changes to it anyway. This original Pac-Man has what, 256 levels before it glitches out. How much do they change? You know, the difficulty continues to ramp up little by little, but there's no major changes. We're talking about almost that much. So. Not doing half bad though at this point. I thought I was done for a couple levels ago, but now I'm back to probably gonna lose one here, but back to 3 extras. That's pretty good. It's levels that are filled with these goddamn yellow guys that are probably my least favorites at this point. You can be at the very end of the level, but if they're still flying around in the air up there, not landing. What the fuck did I just get? Oh shit. Considering the size of that swarm, that was actually not bad for how long I held out there. And I actually got an extra life in there somewhere too, so. I'm up to, so just taking a look at the score meter there, it's 1,053,000. And because, you know, this isn't that good of, that's not even that good of a score considering this game has, you know, 131 more levels. You can't necessarily say that that's a good score. Damn, I thought I was gonna make my way out of there. They were closing on me from both sides. God, there's more of them keep fucking spawning. Dude, that's ridiculous. There's some really short levels in here, really quick levels, and then there's some levels like this that just get you by fucking quantity. Hey, there we go. 70. I guess they very minorly change up the shape and color of the arena every 10 levels or so. But like I said, that's the literal minimum you're gonna get out of it. Just got taken out by these fucking bullets that whiz across the level at you and home in on you. Those are bullshit. Probably my least favorite thing to take on in this whole game. These brain dudes shoot them out. Oh, come on! That's what my problem is with them. It's not even that they home in on you, it's that they're so hard to shoot. Because they zip around and they zigzag and they fucking close in on you, and even if you like run in fucking circles all around like that. That's it, right there. Well, not that bad. Not a bad time. Let's put in my high score name. Yeah. Don't use A or B, I guess. Just use the fucking C buttons like you've been using. Oh, can I? Can I put Thrill House in then? No. What the fuck? Delete. Why? If I press delete once, it takes me back to the last letter that I was on before. That's so fucking stupid. That's so dumb. At least there's no time limit on this. I'd be screwed. Alright. I figured since this is an arcade game, you can only do initials, but let's see how much they actually give you. THR. Oh my god, and this thing just like it has momentum to it, so it swings back and forth. You don't even know fucking where you're at. Oh my god. Thrill how? Enter comment? Really? No, I'm not gonna do that. That's stupid. Yay! I'm up there. Alright. Well, that was fun. You know, that's what it is. It's a lot of that. And if you're into that, then honestly go for it. It's not an expensive game or anything like that. It's probably one of the better ones that I've seen for the sort of like arcade reboots, because it's got a lot of levels, and it works really well on either platform that it came out on, because they both have the diamond-shaped directional pads on either side. So even though you don't get the sticks, you get a good thing to work with, because like I said at the beginning of the first video, I've been playing Binding of Isaac and I've been using buttons because it doesn't even have 8-way shooting. So yeah, next time, I don't actually know what's up next time, but it's there's a lot of weird games coming up before you get into any staples. I think it might be Nagano Winter Olympics for all I know, so I've never played that before. I have no idea what to expect from that, so stay tuned, check that out whenever I get to that, and thanks for watching.